The Expert Series is brought to you by Draw It Paint, the dry erase paint company that specializes in the highest quality of whiteboard walls available worldwide. Draw It Paint is constantly undergoing tests and procedures to ensure industry-leading, top-quality products with 3 selections to choose from. Recruit, Unique, and Limitless are guaranteed to suit all your dry erase paint needs.
Hey guys, my name is Dr. Patrick Anghel, and I'm a dentist in Las Vegas.
All right, yeah, that works. So you've had a YouTube channel for around 2 years now. What inspired you to post all the content and stuff that you've been doing?
So I didn't originally start with YouTube. I started with Facebook/Instagram kind of right around the same time. And I didn't make a YouTube channel for probably about a year or so after I had started those. But originally, my whole game plan was, when I started school, what can I best do to prepare myself for my future career? And that being was do as best as I can in school, network, but what can I do outside? Instagram kind of just popped into my head, social media, best position myself for what it is that I'm going to be doing when I graduate. So naturally that kind of transitioned into YouTube, and I wanted to grow my brand. I wanted to grow the ability to attract patients once I start working. And so at the same time, it wasn't just that, it was also me wanting to basically lend a helping hand to people who are going to go down the same path as me, who are a couple years behind, who will be starting dental school and going through that process, but also at the same time to promote the importance of oral health and how it relates to whole body health as well to the general public. So that's how I stumbled into it.
Yeah, okay. Did you find YouTube was the hardest one to kind of kickstart? Because I find even with us, when we're promoting our media, YouTube seems to be the trickiest one. Do you have the same thoughts on that? Or?
Yes and no. I think I utilize my Instagram a lot to push my YouTube channel. And there are obviously some videos that are way more popular than others. The ones that are really, really popular are stuff for pre-dental students, to give them advice on their applications or just the whole interview process as a whole. So what I would do is I would just go to the Facebook pages of pre-dental groups, post this video, and just watch it if you like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And it was a lot of really good advice. So it kind of just caught on fire and essentially just went across the country. And I'm pretty sure almost every single dental student, current dental student right now and pre-dental student has watched it or knows somebody who has watched it. So but I've noticed a lot of the other videos, it's a lot harder to gain traction. So you just have to provide stuff to people that benefits them, that they want to see. And I think that's the hardest part, is figuring out what people want.
Yeah. I feel like it probably gets easier as you kind of gain publicity for YouTube too. Your videos do gain a lot more traction over time. It's just that first, when you get in that first few followings, it's kind of just a tricky software to use almost.
I agree 100%.
All right. So besides that, what are some activities that you like to do outside of work?
Honestly, a lot of reading is probably the biggest thing. Hiking, I don't do as much as that as I used to in the past, just because of work schedule and all that type of stuff, but just anything outdoors. Basketball is obviously my favorite sport. I try to snowboard at least once a year, every winter. But I'd say those are the biggest things, and just hanging out with friends and
Yeah, I'm trying to get into snowboarding again, actually. I kind of Haven't done it for a couple of years, but it's one of those things that's really fun. And it's like you're living life when you're doing it. You're going down like either the mountains or a canyon or whatever. Like there's nothing better than that. But you mentioned, what was it you meant? What was you mentioned off the bat? It was for activity. Reading. Yeah. I had a question on that. How do you where do you usually just go to like a bookstore, or do you read online and stuff like that?
I prefer to like just buy a book. I just buy it off Amazon, but kind of how I get into it is books that Warren Buffett or Bill Gates recommends, and then pick up one of those, and then kind of just, it takes you down a rabbit hole, and you end up finding different books that way, because other authors, they recommend certain things. But I'm really big on like finance type of stuff. And I think Robert Kiyosaki is amazing, and he is an expert at his field. But the advice that he gives you, what I love about it is, if he doesn't know 100% about a subject, or he wouldn't be proud to call himself an expert on the subject, he'll direct you to somebody who is. And so that to me is amazing, because that's how you end up picking up other books as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's willing to own up to everything too.
Yeah.
Do you find there's a lot of people that are like, do you feel like books are almost like, dying out in a way? Or do you think that there's like a strong, because I feel like, I know because I'm 20, so younger. But most people I know don't read. It's like you'd read maybe articles online about, that's like the most you do. It just seems like, movies and games and stuff are just really, like they're enhancing your experience, therefore they're basically bringing you in.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't believe it's necessarily dying. I believe at a certain age in your life, because I noticed the same thing, like when I was in undergrad and in high school. Of course, nobody reads in high school, but in undergrad, same thing. A lot of people don't really spend time reading, but I've noticed that once you're done with school, once you're done with formal education, at least the people that I've associated with, they claim that they read. I mean, reading is cool now. Like being smart is cool now. I don't know when that change has happened, but I don't know if they just do it for the gram and say they actually read, but at least it seems that a lot more people read my age than those same people who I know didn't read when they were in their 20s.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see myself getting older and reading a lot more. I know I used to read a lot in high school, actually. Like I used to pick up a book, or I'd have a book series and I just read. But like now it's just like, I don't really read too often. Maybe it's just, I think it's like a phase maybe, like at this age, you're like, I'd rather go play a video game, or I'd rather just, I'd rather go watch a movie or something. It's
totally. I mean, it's whatever, it's just a part of life. But I think it starts to change when you get to a point in your life when you realize that the most important person on this planet is you, because at the end of the day, you're going to be buried underground. You're going to be in that coffin by yourself. So what can you best do to advance yourself as a human being? And when formal education is done, you literally never have to learn something new for the rest of your life. But then you're never going to improve as a human being. And so I think it's when you understand what the priorities in life is, which is allowing yourself to live and grow and provide a future for yourself, for your family, for whoever it is that you associate with. And I think certain people realize that, other people realize it. I think everybody realizes it at some point in life, but you might realize it when you're 65 on your deathbed. It's too late at that point. It's pretty much too late.
Yeah, I agree with that. I guess leading into the next question too, more to do with the clinic and all that. Can you tell us about what's the atmosphere like in the clinic?
This, honestly, I am so pumped to be working, excuse me, in this office. Like, it is what you look for in a everybody has their idea of like what a mentor should be, right? And my idea of what a mentor was is essentially the guy that I'm working for. The atmosphere that he created in that office is unreal. Like, everyone's a go-getter, everyone is a cool, laid-back human being and understands how to separate work hard and play hard. But at the same time, they foster everyone, whether it be the dental assistants, foster each other to be the best that they can be. And same thing with the doctors in the front office and everything. And so I think it's unbelievable. I'm learning stuff in that you will not be learning in a GPR or residency program at the rate that I'm learning it at. And I honestly, I think I'm one of the luckiest people who has graduated from my class anywhere in the country. I'm willing to bet there are very, very few positions that are similar to the one that I'm in. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to, it's not being lucky. It's doing your due diligence to prepare for your future career, if that makes sense. So, but I love it here, and I think I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I honestly really wouldn't.
Well, yeah, that's good. It's the best thing for yourself, as you're kind of saying in the last, like, you got to do whatever you can for you. So was dental and stuff like that, was that always like your dream job, or did you have like various dream jobs as you were growing up?
So I always tell people this, that if money didn't matter in this world, I would be a National Geographic wildlife explorer, photographing like big cats in Africa. I think that would be the coolest thing. At some point in my life, when I'm a lot older and I have a lot more money, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do that. But I always knew from, I'd say maybe end of high school, that if I go down the route of healthcare, it's going to be dentistry, because I believe it's the perfect fusion of business and healthcare. But at the same time, I didn't only study biology when I was an undergrad. I was an econ major as well. And so I really started to fall in love with that. And investment banking was something on my radar for a decent amount of time. And I had this fork in the road, and I ended up choosing dentistry and just never looked back since. I mean, obviously, when you're in dental school, especially in the beginning, when you don't do anything on patients, when you don't do anything dental related, and it's just study, and a lot of just complete BS that has nothing to do with dentistry, that you should never be wasting your time learning. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to agree with me on that. Some people, obviously, the 4.0 gunners are going to say, no, like, this is important. But like a lot of times then when you're studying for those finals, you regret it. You're like, why am I doing this? Like, I would have been working for 2-3 years at this point. I'd be making a lot more money, and I'm not going to be coming out with as much debt. But then once you start to see patients, then you kind of start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're like, wow, okay, like I remember why I got into this. But I think dental school, I don't know so much about medical school, but I know dental school needs to do a better job at helping students see the light at the end of the tunnel early on, because there's a lot of depression in dental school, a lot. And who knows, it could be contributed to some of the habits that a lot of these kids had when they were in high school and early on in undergrad. But at the end of the day, those numbers are a lot higher, I'd say, than most other schools.